websites, or should you rent them first, aka pre-sell them, and then rank the websites? That is the ultimate question. There are two different methods of doing this. And a lot of times I use the term rank and rent, but I want to clarify 100% of the deals that I do and have done since 2020, since the beginning of 2020, since about March, April of 2020, have been rent first, rank later, okay? For the first 3 to 4 years when I got into the business model, the digital real estate rank and rent business model, I was going with what I would call the traditional slow method, the way where you pick a niche, you pick a city, you build the website, you start doing SEO, you do the page titles and the content and the backlinks, and you watch it climb, blah, 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 blah. Finally, at some point, leads start coming in. And then when they get to be a certain amount of leads, then boom, you can go and sell it, or you can start to begin to sell it. I have done both. And I did the rank and rent model, excuse me, for the first couple of years. And I did have success. I got some deals. I made some money, and it is a model that works, okay? But since 2020, that is when I really went to work. I really went into the lab, into the old the kitchen, and started cooking up and started perfecting the rent first, rank later model. And I will tell you that I did it out of necessity more than anything. Now, this is not some new novel idea. This is something that I heard the concept of. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Give them a couple free leads, get the deal, and then build out the asset. I just had a ton of questions. How do you do it? How do you run ads? How do you set this up, that up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And that is what I just started obsessing over in 2020. Now, the reason why I started obsessing over it is 2020 was the year where I, in 2019, had this moment where I almost gave up. I almost gave up on this business model. I was making money online. I was making 8 to 10 grand doing SEO, little bit of pay-per-lead, and I had one flat fee deal. So I was making money. I was paying the bills, but barely. And I had $60,000 in debt. And I was like, dude, I'm working way too hard for how much money I'm making. So I almost walked away. I didn't have a ton of people that I knew that were making any money in the business. Most of the people that I knew that were making money were doing it. They were in the business, but kind of doing some one-off thing. Like maybe they started a business within the business. They were generating leads, something like that. So I sat down and I was like, all right, I want to go and I want to scale a business to $100,000 per month. And this is what saved me, by the way. And I took a piece of paper like this and I wrote at the top, what do you want? What do you want? And then under that, I took my pen and I put 100K per month. And I started thinking about it and I realized in order for me to get to 100K, I would have to own the business. I would have to own the business. I couldn't do it selling for somebody else. And yes, I know there's probably something out there you could sell that you could do it, but most likely I needed to own the business. And I started thinking, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I need to do this. And I'm like, this is the perfect business model. And I realized I had gotten into digital real estate or rank and rent to build assets to pay me passively. And slowly but surely, I had ended up with a business where I was trading my time for dollars, doing SEO. And the few deals that I had were pay-per-lead deals. And I started realizing, I'm like, I got to get out of $60,000 in debt and get to 100K. And I started doing the math and I'm like, all right, well, to get to this point, I've had to build this many websites. And then out of those 100, let's just say there's 100, out of those 100, only 40 of them actually were good. And, out of those 40, then let's say 35 of them ranked or 30 of them ranked. And out of the 30, there was only 20 of those that I found areas where business owners actually wanted leads. And out of the 20 that wanted leads, there was only 10 that I actually wanted. And I started, and obviously these are just made up numbers, but I started doing the math and I'm like, dude, to get to 100K, I'm going to need to build like a couple hundred sites. And then once I build a couple hundred sites, I'm going to need to wait 4 to 6 months for these things to rank if I'm lucky, right? And by the way, anyone that tells you you're going to rank in 2 months, it ain't going to happen, okay? I've seen it happen like once, and I built a lot of websites, okay? It's going to take 4 to 6 months, could take longer if you don't know what you're looking for. So I started doing the math. I'm like, okay, if I build 100 today or 200, how much is that going to cost me in hosting and this and that and the rest? I'm like, I'm going to go more into debt. So what am I going to do? And I started to realize, I'm like, I have to pre-sell. I need to use other people's money to build my assets, to build my empire. That is what caused me to get into this and start obsessing over the pre-sell, over rent first, rank later. And I started tweaking stuff. I started testing stuff. I didn't know how to run ads. I didn't know what the right landing page looked like. I didn't know how many leads I needed to send to someone. I didn't know who I should call. I didn't know what I should say when I called. I didn't know all these things. And I just started testing. And the very first one we did it on, I had this site that it wasn't ranking at all. It was ranking probably for 1 or 2 keywords. There was a lead or 2 coming in a month, like very, very basic. And I thought, let's use this website. It's already built. We set up some ads and we started running it, and we just started sending those leads to this guy named Alex. And when I went through that process, I did everything wrong. We sent him way too many leads. I was late for the sales call. I did everything wrong. And I closed the deal, and it was so easy. No objections, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm on to something. I never ranked that website, and I was able to get that deal. And now I'm making, I remember it was $1,000 a month for 6 months. I'm making $1,000. I had the ads at like $400 or $500, maybe 600. I'm going to be making money the whole time. And as soon as this ranks, I'm going to make even more money. So guys, both models work. They really do. Both models work. But for 99% of us that need money, we want money, we want or need money to come in now. Excuse me. And we're not treating this as, well, I'm going to build a couple assets, a couple websites, a couple 10, a couple 20, and hope a couple work out, but we need them all to work out. Then I think you know the answer to this question, right? Now, when I build a website, when I'm spending my money, when I pull out my credit card to spend money on a domain or on whatever, right? I am using the business owner's money, not mine. And I could tell you, it's way more fun, way more exciting when you're using somebody else's money to build it out. So there's a ton of reasons why I could make the argument. Besides the fact of being able to scale a lot quicker, you don't have to use your own money. Another reason is it allows you to test out these markets. If you built 10 websites, okay, even if you knew the right niche and you thought you knew the right city, how do you know that once you get those leads coming in, you're even going to be able to get a business owner to pay you? You don't. You really don't. But by doing it really quickly, getting a one-pager up, getting ads up, sending leads to these business owners, you get to go into the market without investing 4 to 6 months of your life and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of money and time into these projects. So my friends, I've done both. I will tell you that as soon as I tasted the sweetness, the goodness of the pre-sell, I have not gone back. I have not done another method. I have not built and ranked a website since. It is all pre-sell. If I want to go into a niche, I'm doing my same exact sales process, the process I talk about in the Facebook group, the process I talk about here, the art of pre-selling, which I share in detail in Digital Landlords, my online community, my online course, and that's the blueprint if you guys want to go fast. That is what I do. Now, I always make sure that on the back end, we build out the asset. On the back end, you want to take that money, build a website, rank it. And now as it ranks, the organic leads come in, you could turn down the ads and you see this shift and you make more and more and more profit. But the best part is instead of making $0 for 4 to 6 months and going negative, you're actually making 40% profit, 40+% profit. And I can show you the math on another video, but it's always 40% at the minimum or above the entire agreement. The only thing you got to do is spend a couple bucks on ads to land that deal and you are into the green. So it's up to you. The old traditional way is rank and rent. It's just kind of the name of the industry. But I'm all about rent first, rank later. I think it has a little bit of a Drake vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? Rent first, rank later. That's how I do it. If you want, you can try it out. You could test it out. You could see which one resonates more with you. But I have been doing this since 2020. I will never go back. I love using OPM, other people's money, to build my assets. That's how you scale. I'm out.